Earlier today on Black Friday, Kathy and I had a little adventure out in Joshua Tree National Park. One of the things we had discussed is, would we go to the same place twice? And we weren't really sure if we would, but Joshua Tree has so much to offer, we thought, well, we'll take another trip out there. And we thought today, Friday, we'll go out to Joshua Tree. Tomorrow, we're still tentative on it. We might go out to Anza Borrego. We went out in Sparky, Kathy's Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, and we had done a little research where we learned that you can enter the park through Berdoo Canyon Road, which is an interesting 4x4 track. Now here in Gaia, I got a little confused. It drew a track over the track in a straight line, but the wavy line is the accurate one. And you can kind of see some of the pictures here off to the side that we took while we were driving it. I will say, everyone says this is an easy trail. All I can tell you is, let's see if I can find it zoomed in here. When you go through the Berdoo Rock Garden, I would say I would definitely not want to take that particular section of the trail in a all-wheel drive vehicle or a vehicle without skid plates and some fairly considerable ground clearance. So Kathy's 4xe Sparky is a stock Rubicon. All it really has on it is skid plates, fortunately, full skid plates, undercloak, metal cloak, undercloak, full skid plates. Here's the Berdoo Rock Garden, and you can see the pictures that we took as we were there. When I aired down the KO2s, which are load rating C, you definitely get a bigger contact point, but you also lose a little bit more ground clearance. So between the added weight of the full skids and airing down the tires, and I only went down to 20 psi, I did lose, at least to me, felt like a little ground clearance. So I banged those skid plates at least a few good times going through the little Berdoo section here. So in any event, I would say, no, this is not an easy trail. It's a fun trail. I would not be comfortable driving it without a 4x4 with decent tires, decent clearance. We didn't need the lockers. We didn't need anything hardcore. But definitely I was happy to have skid plates and to have aired down some good all-terrain tires. Now from there we drove up to Pleasant Valley here, and you kind of get this loop that goes around here. We only did, of course, since we came in Berdoo Canyon Road, we didn't do the full loop. We had already kind of intersected it halfway in. Interestingly, here we saw a Ukrainian couple in a Toyota 4Runner kind of debating whether they were going to go the rest of the way. So it was nice. We had Gaia going on the phone, and I could show them some pictures. Swept through here, then you get into the Geology Tour Road, which is a very nice section of this California thru-hike trail. We didn't have the book that went with it, but the reason there's a little side thing here is we went to the pit toilet, came back, parked, and we hiked about this far out onto the trail. Just a good stretch of the legs and just exceptionally beautiful. Then we headed back and continued. Now here I didn't bother airing back up because it's fairly slow, but from here I was driving about 40-45 miles an hour at 20 psi on the asphalt until we drove all the way across the park here. But instead of going out the south exit as we've done other times, you get down by Porcupine Wash. Here is where you can pick up either of two pretty cool 4x4 tracks. I don't know much about the Black Eagle Mine Road, but we drove the Old Dale Road, which again, everyone said, easy 4x4 trail. So it is incredibly beautiful. You drive across the desert, and again, you're kind of going from the Mojave Desert out to the Sonoran Desert, the Colorado Desert, part of the Sonoran Desert. But now if you look in Gaia, that's one reason I love to use Gaia, you can notice the topo map gets real interesting right around the time you exit the park. So to here, you're just driving through beautiful desert, looking at the mountains on either side. But when you come around here and right where you exit the park here, is this an easy trail? Not by my standards. It's a fun trail. I did get Kathy to drive, and we've got some drone footage of her taking the shelf road up into the mountain. But there's enough washout, even though people have stacked some rocks. There were definitely some challenging sections in here. Now with a little spotting, it was no big deal. Stock 4x4 can get through it. So does that make it easy? I guess so. But to me, easy is something you can cruise through in a Bronco Sport or a standard, like, I don't know, CRV or something. Definitely would not have attempted this road in that. So again, here's where it got kind of exciting and interesting. You can see the closely packed topo lines. And then after that, you get out into the desert, and it's just kind of a nice, straight, beautiful drive as you go out. And there's lots of little side quests if you want them, lots of beautiful things to explore. And then as you exit, you basically exit the park here on Highway 62, the 29 Palms Highway, and you're only a few miles from a gas station and things like that. So a wonderful, wonderful day. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, well, I've done everything I can to avoid the snap, crackle, pop of the dead cat on the microphone. I'm not even sure it's been the dead cat causing that problem. I'll keep investigating. So we have driven out here to the entrance to Berdoo Canyon Road, and that is an entrance into Joshua Tree National Park. Funnily enough, if you come out here, you can enter the park this way without paying, I guess. It doesn't matter to us. We have an annual park pass, but little fun fact. So this is what it looks like entering Joshua Tree National Park somewhere down the road on Berdoo Canyon Road. Now you can see there's a lot of garbage here, like obscene graffiti on the rocks, and just a lot of trash on the ground. So I don't know if that's just people coming out here to party and abusing the place, or recently cleared homeless encampments, or what it is, but in any event, we're going to just air down here because we will be hitting off-road. I think I'm just going to stay aired down because we'll be driving slow on asphalt anyway. We took Sparky today. We just did our increasingly growing what do you take on day trips in California checklist. And Kathy and I jumped in the Jeep. It's Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. And what's nice about this, it was an easy hour, 15, 90 minutes, maybe closer to 90 minutes. And there's definitely traffic on I-10 coming out of the LA Basin area there and on the Pomona Freeway, but we never hit stop and go. We had to slow down a few times here and there for heavy traffic, but never hit stop and go. So that was nice. Okay, so I will not maintaining my tradition of not videotaping myself airing down the tires. I guess videotaping can kind of tell how old I am, huh? I will not record video of me airing down the tires. Okay. So again, I'm keeping the dead cat off the microphone. This is a typical stretch of Berdoo Canyon Road. There's bits of washed out asphalt here and there, and you can kind of follow the tracks. There's multiple place splits and then they rejoin. So it's not hard to follow the track, but it's not obvious always where it is, but it's obvious enough. And it's just kind of a wash road you can kind of see there. There's an occasional big rock in the path, but so far, very easy trail. I did end up going into 4 high just because I don't want to spin the wheels in loose sand and make the day more interesting than it needs to be. And just running Guy, you can see, according to Guy, we're just about to enter the national park. So I won't film a lot of this just because it's really cool, really beautiful, and all the same. Oh, and it's 63 degrees, so it's a beautiful day to be out here. We drove by at the entrance to the, where the road kind of stops being paved. A lot of people shoot there. It's public land. So we drove past quite a few people kind of with makeshift ranges there. And after that, it was just this wash road, and we have not seen another vehicle yet. So I was just commenting on how there's nothing technical. I can't see if there's a bypass here. I'll film that a little more closely. That's the nice thing, you know, Sparky is a stock truck, right? So no, you know, nothing to get excited about. But it has metal cloak, undercloak, skid plates, as well as a winch. So fortunately, when you're driving a nice, easy trail and something like this presents itself, it's no big deal. But yeah, I'm not saying a Subaru couldn't get through this, but it would be a whole lot more aggravating to navigate your way through it. So this is the only thing I've seen so far on the entrance here going down Berdoo Trail that gets your attention. And we definitely bounced the skid plate or the rock rail at least once, just kind of going slowly through there. So thought I'd mention that. Yeah, Berdoo Canyon Road, easy way to get into Joshua Tree National Park, except for this one spot. And if there is a bypass, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe there's one up there that I just didn't notice. Just to keep it as clear as it is. Do you want to have some fun and just get out and film me driving Sparky through here? Might be fun. So Kathy was kind enough to photograph that bit of Sparky. She's not up for driving through the rock garden today. This is quote unquote an easy trail. I would say, yeah, you don't want to do that in an all-wheel drive. So I don't know who's in charge of that rating. I would say any, capable 4x4 with off-road tires would get right through that. An experienced driver with other equipment could, but again, we were banging the skid plate quite a bit in those other places. Here, I was very careful in my choice of line, and I can see that people have piled rocks before me. But that is a really picturesque little thing, and that's why it's marked on Gaia as the Berdoo Rock Garden. Kathy asked me, I was like, well, I don't know if that's naturalists marking that or off-roaders. I would say definitely off-roaders. So I did put Sparky in 4-low, and we just took our time. And I am aired down, but only aired down to like 20 psi. One thing I mentioned to Kathy is I didn't realize her BF Goodrich KO2s are load range rating C, whereas the Hummers are E. So just airing down a little bit, her contact patch gets way bigger, but she also loses an inch or so of ground clearance. So I don't have a super strong feel for her truck, for her Jeep, for the Jeepers out there who don't like to call them trucks. But it definitely feels to me like I'm scraping the skid plate in places where I wouldn't expect to, and I have driven a Jeep enough to have some kind of a sense. But again, this is that, one of the first upgrades we did is this full set of metal cloak, undercloak, custom set for the 4xe. And let me tell you, when you bang on the rock, you're like, whatever. You don't want to get perched and hung up and have to pull line from the winch. But Just got snagged by a thorn bush there. But yeah, there's really little to no fear on my part that I'm going to damage the truck when I hear a rock clunk down there. I don't think we've even been close to touching the rock rails because of the way the skid plate is there, and I've been trying to avoid, again, Jeeps are reasonably narrow. I've been trying to avoid that slide sideways. Once or twice there I did feel the back axle slide to one side unexpectedly because of the way the rock was perched. So, a little bit of unexpected off-roading, driving, slightly technical off-roading, not just off-roading, driving into Joshua National Tree Park on Berdoo Canyon Road.
My pom-pom all straight?
You're perfect.
Oh.
It's only slightly off center. That's our Iron Wolf Overland merch that we made. So, gotta love the hat.
I was not recording.
I've done that
Sorry.
more than once. I'm like, oh wait, that didn't make the right sound. Oh, I wasn't recording.
So we are at Skull Rock, and after seeing no one all day, Black Friday.
Yeah, so we were wondering, is it just, Black Friday is a good day to come out here? No, it's the difference between coming in on Berdoo Canyon Road and staying on the 4x4 trails. You see almost nobody. As soon as you get on the asphalt, it's wall-to-wall people.
Wow, okay. So this is Old Dale Road going up into the
Mountains that we've been driving nearby. In reflecting on why people of so many faith traditions go on pilgrimages, I asked one of the artificial intelligence-aided search engines that question. Not surprisingly, it gave an excellent answer along with citations. Two of the points jumped out at me. First, pilgrims often use their journey as a form of penance, making it into a sort of penitential journey. And second, pilgrimage can, in many ways, take the form of a hero's quest. The pilgrim challenges themselves to push beyond their anxieties and inhibitions. Those two thoughts inspired in me a commitment to continue our overlanding journeys, not just because they provide opportunities for contemplation of the majesty of God's creation, but also because they provide opportunities for physical challenge and emotional growth. Making ourselves cook and wash dishes in relatively primitive circumstances and hike in wilderness past the point where our bodies complain to our minds through increasing registrations of pain and discomfort serve to develop within us that sense of confidence and self-possession that many now call mindfulness. Pushing through discomfort can also serve as a form of penance. As the religious sisters used to teach young Catholic students, offer it up. Pushing through discomfort reminds me of a favorite lyric in the musical Godspell. I'll put a pebble in my shoe, and watch me walk. I can walk. I can walk. I shall call the pebble Dare. We will walk together. We will talk about walking. Dare shall be carried. And when we both have had enough, I will take him from my shoe, singing, Meet your new road. Then I'll take your hand, finally glad that you are here by my side. Overlanding can not only allow us to push through discomfort, it can provide us with opportunities to persevere through and beyond our anxieties and inhibitions. In this drone footage, it's Kathy's who's driving up this shelf road, navigating deep washouts through careful tire placement while minding the drop at the edge. Most probably realize the camera can never capture steepness or depth of a washout, but if you watch Sparky's axles articulate, you'll see that this stretch was quite challenging. Kathy had a huge smile when she successfully navigated this challenging bit of trail. Based on our experience of entering Joshua Tree National Park through Berdoo Canyon Road on what turned out to be an extremely crowded weekend of the Friday after Thanksgiving, I highly recommend taking that approach. I will caution though, look over that video of going through the rock garden on Berdoo Canyon Road, as well as some of the challenging obstacles, just climbing that little bit of Old Dale Road to go up over the mountain. Those are pretty challenging, but if that doesn't put you off, this turned out to be an absolutely wonderful way to see Joshua Tree National Park. Plus, it was a lot of fun for Kathy to get to drive Sparky in some mildly technical situations, and I think it really built her confidence. And again, in closing for both of us, these types of overlanding journeys just provide such a wonderful opportunity to peer more deeply inside yourself and challenge yourself to develop new capabilities.